it's gonna be a more positive thing than negative. We were trying to put this meeting together. It's a little informal, but we're just trying to gauge the interest of the public, and it doesn't seem to be like real great. We're not necessarily, I mean, we were looking to see if people would be interested in volunteering a little bit of their time into trying to put this place back together. I personally, and I don't know if this is just my opinion, I spent the better part of 8 years coaching baseball down there, and I met a lot of people and a lot of children that I'm still friends with today. That park literally introduced me to a lot of great people in this community, between Unity and Troy. And it truly is a special place for me. I don't, again, it is the Field of Dreams. And we would like to restore it to what it looked like. I've been away for 20 years. I don't know if people remember what it looked like even before I got there. I mean, I can remember vaguely, but as you get to be as old as I am, memory retention is not as great as it once was. But I can remember it being pretty pristine around the year 2000, 2001. And I guess, my name is Dave Wakefield, by the way. I'm serving on the select board in case I know some people here. I don't know every single person. But that's my little spiel at the start of it. And I don't know if Tony has something he'd like to say or.
No, I'm selecting too. I didn't spend as much time as Dave has down there. I think I spent more since 2 weeks ago on the property down there than the other time. I think I've been twice down in my whole life. But it's in the community. I hear everybody talk great things about it, how it needs to be, and the great times that they spent down there and stuff. Part of the community. Like Dave said, part of this reason that it's me was to see, what was the interest, in the community, volunteerism. We've had different people reach out to us trying to find out what we can do, we can't do restart. So we brought some waivers with us, brought some lists, if there's anything lists that wants to do, not do. We want to see what people would like to see down there.
Yeah, we want to gauge people's interest and see what they thought should be done with the park. I mean, we have our visions, but sometimes our visions aren't perfect.
The other thing too is, some people that go there all the time and stuff. We've gone to most of the pieces on the property and stuff. And we've looked around to see what needs work, didn't need work.
And I'll be the first to admit that I spent most of my time at the baseball fields, and I have never once in my life, full disclosure, I have never once walked all the way around that park. So I have no recollection of what the walking path used to look like, other than the one that goes by the road.
Will you be setting up a system for letting people reserve it for events? Reserve the, what do they call those?
The pavilion?
The pavilion.
Yes, yeah. We're in the process of creating a new sign and also a joint email that will respond. It'd be like a generic about property usages, where it would notify the Parks and Rec Department, Select Board, and the clerk's office, and we're going to keep a unified calendar for that, and then it will also be posted on the website for things that are going on. Not necessarily private events. It might just say private events, so people know that something is going on. But like
calendar.
Yeah, on the Google, because we already have a town Google Calendar, so we're going to put a new one in for like facility usages and what's going on where.
So I haven't dug Fox. I used Field of Dreams with 4 kids growing up in the walking path an awful lot. I was just curious, and I haven't been a part of any of these conversations, so I'm being naive about my questions. Sorry, but is there any equipment that was left? Is the mower there? Is there a tractor? Is there, there used to be a York rake, which I was particularly interested in because the way the walking path used to be maintained was a couple times a year, somebody would drag the York rake over it, and that would keep the sod from coming in. I would be willing to drive a tractor and use the York rake to try that out, to bring the path back or something like that, but is equipment there still?
There's some equipment, and there's not a York rake there, there's a tractor there, there's a small grinding tractor, mower, there's a couple of hand tools, there's a couple of rollers, there's looks like a golf cart, but it's got a drag built into it.
Oh, yeah, for the ball field, infield.
I think so, but it looks like it might have been useful around the walking path too.
Yeah.
Maybe sergeant here, he used to work there, and
Little John Deere, 3-wheel looking thing, with a drag working on the back of it. We used to run it 2-3 times a week.
Okay.
Around the walking path,
so there's some equipment.
Yeah.
for-
But that's the kind of thing, like, if it was okay with liability, like the walking path kind of thing would be something that I would be interested in volunteering with the people to bring that back, and that would be of interest to me.
Gia Murdoch, I love what you said, Dave. I remember the youth groups playing there, playing baseball.
yeah,
And we're so fortunate to have a park that already has the baseball fields that are sized for only the youth.
Yes, right, the infrastructure is there, we just need to restore it, I mean,
Right, I'm assuming the leagues are there and would be willing to come play there again, because I don't know where they've been playing
yeah,
up to now. The other thing about volunteering is that I wouldn't have thought of this, except I have a 14-year-old grandson who lives in Montville, and he wishes he could drive so he could get himself to Unity, because he fishes here, he rides his bike here, he jumps off the trestle to go swimming,
mhm,
he plays basketball at the park with his friends.
yeah,
And he would do so many things here. I really think that as you start to assemble volunteers, you should figure out a way to hear the voice of the elementary and middle school and even high school kids. What would they like to see there?
yeah, a lot of the input is definitely needed, I mean,
for me personally, I would like to see it restored to the way it once was to start with, but I don't, other than, I guess my vision is kind of narrow, I guess, I don't know if that's good or bad, but,
I can broaden it a little
You
bit.
can.
Because there's something that I observed that has nothing to do with formal sports or formal anything. It's because I was hanging out, walking that loop that you haven't walked yet.
yeah,
And twice I saw, just on random occasions, a van load of developmentally disabled adults arrive with their caregivers, one van at a time, not associated with one another. One was from Jackson area. And they made themselves so welcome at the park. They walked safely because they could around that loop. They used the pavilions. They either had brought their lunches or their snacks with them.
yeah,
They hung out for the better part of the day,
mhm,
just enjoying things the way they were capable of
Yeah.
enjoying things. And I saw that on more than one occasion. So I think it's going to be very important in the restoration concept to not only think in terms of people with all kinds of disabilities, but to take a good look at what never was up to par in that regard and try to make it conform more with what people actually need.
Sheila Dorn, my husband and I walk around fairly frequently lately. We really enjoy Field of Dreams, and our children do as well. Basketball courts, and we look at it, and one of our daughters plays softball, so we've been to a bunch of regions fields and stuff, so we know what's out there and what could be. We love to help, our kids would love to help, their friends would. They have friends who come, to Field of Dreams from Brooks, from Liberty, all over the place. So
Yes,
it's not just the Unity community,
Yeah.
it's the greater Waldo County area. One thing I'd like to see, if we could, is like an online sign up form for different tasks, because the kids would want to sign up for things.
Yeah.
We jump in, and we're representing kind of the people with, kids and lots of work going on and stuff, who want to be here tonight, but who can't be here tonight. There are tons of people out there who want to help, but just don't have the time to come to meetings
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's good to know. Yeah. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be there, and I don't want to say that the fields were pristine when I was there, like they were brand new, but they were relatively new when I was there, and I remember what once was an unbelievable softball field for young girls to play softball. I mean, the Little League field was, they were all pretty nice. I mean, the high school used to come down here and use this field when they had overflow. I mean, it was the big diamond. I mean, it had 13 and above diamond, for kids to play on. I mean, a full size. And it was really quite something to behold. When you see school buses down there and parents from other communities, and, the place was rocking. I mean, it was unbelievable.
So, to go along with that, I guess my question to you guys is, the group that bought Unity College campus, are they a tax exempt organization, or can we expect to see some taxes
They
coming
are
in? that might
they are
cover?
for a for-profit organization.
Okay, that's good to know.
So they will not owe taxes this year because of when the purchase was completed.
Okay, but in the future, they're gonna generate, great.
That's wonderful.
Yes. Doug?
So, one of the things, first of all, in terms of restoring it to its original, my students and I planted all those nice shade trees around the playground area, so that was an improvement, on the original, in my book. But there was a fair amount of, annual money put into, maintaining those, when you first put in a ball field and you put in the ball field mix, it's pristine. Every year after that, it declines, and it requires a fair amount of ball field mix that's used for that, and a fair amount of raking and spreading. So there's a lot of, but I think that the league, if somebody laid out what needs to be done, I think like before Little League starts, I bet you could get a whole bunch of folks involved. If they had somebody who knows how to do this, I'm not volunteering. I used to do this, so I used to do it. And then we would also hire a company called Sports Fields, and they would come in, and Bert Clifford also did that. And so there was a lot of money that was put in to make it, to keep it that way. And we might not be able to necessarily do that. But there may be some ways of cutting costs. And this is where the decision-making structure, I guess this is but maybe it's like on an annual basis, and everybody's ideas go in, and then you folks make a decision. But so I have a recommendation, like remove a lot of the fencing rather than trying to keep it repaired. You won't miss it, right? That would cut costs.
I think it would be missed because I think it keeps vehicles and.
Yeah, there's a benefit to it. There's pros and cons. There's a decision that somebody needs to make. I know that my wife walks, there's a place where all the trees are grown in around there, and she doesn't feel secure walking in the morning because it just needs to be opened up so you can see that there's nobody hiding behind those trees right there. But somebody has to decide whether it's okay for me to go out with a chainsaw and take 10 feet on either side of those, so it's something that's going to be a decision-making structure.
If I had my way,
Yep.
there wouldn't be a tree in that file.
Oh,
It gets so hot out there, the kids, when I.
Other than the ones that are around the playground.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah, but we can take those, yeah, that's fine, but somehow we need a sort of a plan and then approval structure, you know, sort of for that.
That's what this meeting is about.
Yeah.
Trying to grasp ideas, what people want to volunteer, so then eventually what we'll do, we'll have like a certain day that, you know, we're gonna do some tree removal. We'll reach out to everybody that wants to do tree removal, and whoever wants to do fence repair, we'll reach out to them and have dedicated days just to that and stuff. We're gonna do it in sections, that's the goal here, you know, let's do it in sections.
I mean, what is everybody's, what do you think should be prioritized first?
The playground for the kids.
The playground?
I don't know if it's softball, I saw kids playing in it, but is it okay? Is it safe? What about restrooms, what do those look like? I've walked that trail and I've been there and I've had to pick up garbage, there's been dog crap. I know people have walked in their dogs, you know, there's a sign like the front of the fence saying, come off your dogs. And I could, you know, I've seen the sites where people want to have dogs there, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Or I think we could find another location, but the issue is the restrooms. What are those like? They've been outhouses. When I've been there, they've been nasty. So this isn't the town, this is the college. They haven't been keeping up with it. On the blocks and by the water, there were trees that were there. There was a recent post about somebody hid the plywood and screws faced upward at the end of the slide. Who's gonna monitor and make sure it's safe? That kind of stuff, right? So I'm willing to volunteer time. I think the walking is really valued. I've seen people with heart conditions and coming out of the hospital if they're using that track. I think it's neat. But I think the children have to be.
It is unfortunate because bad people do bad things. There's not always somebody there to catch the culprits or.
And there's been a few shady cars that have walked there at times, and I carry mace with me.
Yeah, I don't
There's some
want you.
places that you just go, I don't know what they're doing, sitting there in darkened, you know, cars that.
Yeah.
Winter time, I go by there 3:34 in the morning, and there's all kinds of weird cars and everything else parked out, and they're sitting there, you know, people coming and going.
Yeah.
That time in the morning, shouldn't be anybody in there.
How do you
So it's,
So for that board that was posted online, we don't know who did that.
Right.
It was definitely an adult, because we were there, it was secured to the little tree that the kids would go through. It was closed, both ends were closed. And
Somebody ripped it right off
somebody
That's
ripped it.
terrible. That's so sorry.
I don't know how.
and left it on the ground.
Did you guys just put in a porta potty there too?
Yes.
yes.
We have a porta potty there now, standing garage. No, just one big one. Yep. So it's that.
And we're working on a few trash receptacles as well, and adding it to our regular circular, because Gregory picks up curbside, so we would only be responsible for the tonnage that comes out of them, so it wouldn't be like a
Around the
dumpster.
track and stuff, I really don't know how you could police that. You know, people just took a little bit more pride. I think as time has gone on, people are less respectful of things today than they were.
And just, I think, you know, the more activity that goes on there, the more, you know, it starts to look clean and everything. We're more likely to, oh, we got that piece of trash, instead just leave it, because it looks like.
Because it's always been carry in, carry out. You generate a little bit of trash and just throw it in a bag and take it with you. You know, it's really not that hard to.
Now, I spoke to an acquaintance who said it was not always that way, that there were trash barrels there at one point, so.
I don't remember them, but, you know,
The service.
I don't know everything about that park either, so.
You were, there was big trash cans, yeah?
What the college gonna do with that trash?
And when did they take it over? 95, 96, something like that?
Plenty of work with public safety down there. As babies.
I was gonna say, when I was working public safety, I was driving people out of there 2-3 o'clock in the night. So,
This is all you were trying to
Yeah.
figure out how we're gonna handle that issues.
so what's your long-term plan as far as managing? Keep it with you guys, or are you gonna think you're gonna hand it off and have single person committee, kind of,
We were
three
hoping
people that,
that,
day-to-day kind of overseeing of it, or what?
we were hoping to get this place up and going and hand it over to our,
Parks and Recreation Committee, which needs more members.
Where we just-
Can possibly manage it.
So
we're gonna try and fund it with TIF money.
if we can redistrict the TIF and get that included into it, it may be able to support some of the day-to-days over there without it coming on taxation.
There's gonna be higher taxation.
You really need
Yeah.
somebody there all day, every day.
And all night, it sounds like.
Either that, you gotta be getting some security cameras, things like that, something,
It stinks to be monitored, every little thing you do, really. I mean, it's,
I know Walden County, I know the sheriff's department is swamped, but it'd be nice on a regular patrol.
yeah.
Once or
Take a
twice a
little-
night,
yeah,
just swing in,
take a little
you know,
swing in.
something like that would go a long ways.
Like hang out on School Street all day.
That's what I was gonna suggest, that maybe, reaching out to Walton County Sheriff's Department, letting them know that it's now new days if they missed all the announcements. And maybe if they could sit there, instead of like in the center of town.
Or at the fire department, or at the racetrack, or at
Yeah,
the,
plenty of other places.
I come
to
to it
go.
all times, day and night sometimes, I see
Yeah.
the troopers and I see the sheriff, I'm a retired police officer, so I can spot these cars. And they're sitting, I see where they're sitting, there's no reason they can't just sit there for an hour or two or whatever while they're waiting for a call. It doesn't even have to be every day. And the other issue I have is those trees. That is a disaster waiting for it to happen, all those saplings that are coming up, blocking the view. I gotta be honest with you, I think that really should be your priority. Because we walk through there, and I tell you, we hear voices in the woods and stuff, and if you're a single woman, or even my daughter comes there in the morning, and, you know, I'm with her, but there's times, you know, it's just that minute or so where she's out of sight, now, okay, it's a
Yeah.
liability issue too.
And I've said this ad nauseum so much that Judith hates when I say this, but when we used to be over there, it was a park, it was sight-long. I mean, you could see from one end of this thing to the other.
That was the whole idea, because I remember talking with
But
Bert.
even in the middle of the
they
night.
just built it. She could be sitting there playing tennis. She didn't have to worry about her kid. She could look and see all the way down to the ball field. There he is, he's playing in this. There was no trees, there was no break.
Or in the playground.
Or the playground. You could see him. You knew what he was doing. Okay, they're playing this, he's full Johnny, and they're all good there.
And we had on multiple occasions, if a family has more than one child at different points in the park, they could sit and watch one child play a baseball game, and maybe the daughter would be down on the softball field, and you can kind of pull a little bit of a double duty, because you can, if you're sitting on the bleachers in a particular spot, you can look down and you can kind of watch both games, you know.
But if you get rid of those saplings, 2:30 in the morning, when a trooper or deputy comes in, they can shine their spotlight around the whole place and get a look, you know, they don't have to get out with their flashlights and.
And I was noticing, I didn't know if people liked it. I mean, where the softball field and tennis courts meet, I mean, it feels like a pretty secluded area down there, where it comes right to a point.
That's right. It's too.
I mean, I don't know if people like that. Does it feel like you're out in the woods somewhere, or would you rather have it, like, be able to see where you're going?
Yeah, there's enough.
Me personally, I'd go down there tomorrow and cut every single one of them things down, but it's
Chainsaw massacre.
not solely my responsibility. I was thinking about stacking them in the middle of the field and seeing if the fire department might be kind enough to torch them up for us.
All the county would say. We do like burning.
Might be perfect for a couple of disc golf baskets in among the trees and around where the fields, where the fences are now. I'm surprised to see that my disc golf friends are not here tonight, so I'm not trying to speak for them. But what little I know about disc golf from my son, who is rabid about it, and his friend who lives in Unity, who's not here, they have walked that park many times and tried to figure out where they would place their baskets. What I know recently about the disc golf community is that they educate people how to play disc golf and enjoy the game and pass it on to others. They do charitable things, and their eyes on the park when it isn't an organized softball game or some other game. They could come play disc golf at any time of the day when they don't happen to be working, or it's a weekend.
There's one lane in the woods over there.
Yeah,
One
so,
basket.
I mean, I know, I would guess it's a large enough park to be able to have the diversity of activities going on there beyond the structured ones that could invite disc golf. I would like someone
I
to
mean, I'm
do,
certainly not opposed to it, but I don't know, I don't
study.
know personally how you anchor, I don't know how you would utilize something like that in the middle of one of the ball fields. I don't know
well,
where
you
they,
couldn't, I mean,
I don't know
you have
where they
to-
would go.
That's the challenge
Yeah.
of laying out something like that.
We've had requests for disc golf, we've had requests for volleyball and for pickleball, all of which are not currently in the
Yeah.
plan. And those are things we need to consider, but I think first we need to
Yeah,
bring
We
it
need
up,
to,
basics.
yeah.
So I think what we really need to do at this point is get some short-term goals set up, what needs to be done now, down the road, a year or so down the road, what can be set up for a year and a half, 2 years, whatever. And while we're doing the short-term goals, we look into maybe some grants, maybe the Alpha Foundation. I personally, this is the pipe dream, I would like to see a YMCA set in that empty area down there. That would bring so many people to this town, because now they're traveling to Belfast, and they're going to Waterville for all these extracurricular activities for the kids. The biggest thing we need to worry about is getting these kids something to do around here, so they're not getting into the meth and shit.
Obviously, the walking path seems like it's,
They did
should,
work around the walking
it
path.
seems like it should be the first focus of attention, I think. Maybe is to, maybe eliminate some of the trees and get the path in water so it can be utilized. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense to everyone here, or.
Well, my last idea.
No, they've all been good ideas. No, there's no bad ideas.
So this is one that I really.
No bad ideas.
I want to hear feedback on this one. I tried to get the college to do this and they weren't interested, but I think we could reduce the mowing by maybe, I don't know, a third, by taking the open areas that are not in ball fields or anything, that are not a visibility issue, and, sort of artistically define them, but let them grow up to meadows, and then reduce the mowing enormously, and then cut them once a year with bush hog, and that would cut the cost of the mowing down. But I know that might not be the most popular idea, but I want to run it by people. There's big sections that nobody uses.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to inquire about is the shoreline to the lake that's right there. And as you know, we have 8 boats at the beach that are very popular, checked out to the library. And that would be an appropriate spot to put another rack of boats, canoes, kayaks, paddleboards that can be checked out and picked up right there. I'm not sure if it's appropriate as a launch site, and that would have to be evaluated.
Did you ever get a chance, Charlene, to see if there was an issue with that? I just remember something about the environmental permits and.
I have
the beach as a
not.
beach area.
I have not. I do know that on the signage that's there, it does say swim at your own risk and such like that. So that leads
Okay,
me to
so
believe
maybe-
that water access was okay, but I haven't formally found any documents. Definitely need to find those to be
It's certainly
sure.
not the greatest spot, but it is. Yeah,
Can fixing the tunnel on the playground set be like a short-term thing? Or is that, would that be considered long-term?
We haven't even had a chance to look into to see what the cost of one is.
Okay.
We've been dealing with, we've had, trying to get volunteers, Mikey has been mowing down there for a while. John also has been down there mowing, Tim Parker has been down there. We've had a couple of volunteers come out, Dash Albright also has been down there. So we've been we've been kind of looking at what needs to be done and stuff like that. We haven't gone to the next phase of pricing out things. But part of the reason is funding, we're kind of, we had no clue that we were taking this property when now.
Yeah, so it's a community effort to get
Yes.
this place out.
Yep.
So, and I love researching, I mean, maybe that's something I can do to, because my daughter plays down there every day.
We'd like to see the playground
Yeah.
refurbished. I mean, there's just so much stuff there was basically there since it opened. I mean,
Is there any, like, money left from, the original, from Bert Clifford?
So we're basically trying to fundraise and look for donations,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into grants. Couple of people have reached out, asking about donating, also and stuff. So we're hoping the stars line up and that starts to roll and stuff. But we're just only been like our second week of having it, we really haven't been priced out stuff. We've been down there cleaning up some stuff, and some repairs, but
Insurance company wants to come and inspect.
Okay.
And I'm sure the trees that have overgrown the buildings, gonna be a no-no. Like, they've encroached right over, the maintenance building and the storage building out back, the one next to one of the trails. I don't know what you call it, it's where they kept a lot of mulch and extras for different things.
Can you put together some sort of a list of, items that need replacing? I noticed online people were talking about the net's already taken care of, somebody is gonna donate that. Maybe somebody can, donate a replacement tunnel or something like that. Just items to get people thinking about how they can help out.
I mean, do we try to replace what's there? I mean, are our chances perfect to find one that's gonna bolt together in the same footprint as what we got, or do we have to, tear it up? I don't know. I mean,
We can contact the company, there's still like a little tag I saw of the manufacturer, see if they're still in business,
Can you do that? And let
Yeah.
Pam know? That'd be
I
great.
mean, we'd love to just redo the whole thing all at once, but unfortunately, that's just not in the cards,
You guys thought anything about winter time yet? As far as keeping snow removal, anything like that, is it gonna be closed off? Or it's
We'd like to put a chain across it like they used to, but I don't know.
That's why I was wondering, we're gonna be shutting it down for the winter time, first
How
of
do you handle
summer
it?
or whatever, that it's gonna be open for, like Christmas time, we do the Christmas parade and tree
It'd
lighting.
be nice to be able to utilize it for
Something like that. Depot's nice for that, maybe. If it's available.
But
Answer your
adds to our final contract.
Yeah, that's why I wondered.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Dave, we used to shut it off in the winter time.
What's that?
When the college, when I was in college, we shut it off in the winter time. We used to.
I always remember a chain going across the front of there, pretty much.
No, if they had big events on the lake, like when I did the ice fishing derbies and stuff, I used to go down there with permission from the president. Plow out the front section, so they could on the snow, and their ice fishing and stuff.
Yeah.
And that brings up a whole point, when we're way back, and whether or not the college even had the right to do that. Because the hunk of that field, remember, is a grant by the National Park Service. And there were stipulations that the National Park Service gave to the town of Union when, say, the initial Field of Dreams Committee earned $30,000, they applied for a federal grant to the National Park Service, urban renewal, and they came and said, okay, you got 30 there, we'll manage your 30. That was the first 60,000. And there's one of the stipulations of that was that you had to leave it open to 365. Like I said, that it's changed hands, who's here to enforce it, it's not like there's a force regular park ranger come up here and say, make sure that you leave the chain down. I mean, it makes sense, I mean, that they put the chain up, because they didn't want people driving.
I mean, if that's the case, you'll get around that, just have probably in the
Right,
driveway.
now,
I mean, the end of the driveway, like they do down Moose Point State Park.
right,
They go in 100 feet,
Right.
you're on your own from there.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
The issue early on was in the spring, it's very wet and it's very attractive to young people to go out in four-wheelers and truck. And they had a lot of incidents of people just having
Oh, right.
blood fest up there. And that's when that changed. I thought that was up in Birdsville, you put the foundation for that, but maybe it was not. That's when the fences went up. The fences went up to keep people from driving onto the ball fields and making a mess.
try to make it as difficult for them as you can, right?
Right, at least it's a little bit, you know, to be honest,
Yeah.
that was all it was.
Can I suggest, and I'm willing to do the work if you want to, maybe doing a survey, online survey, for townspeople and people around here, about how often they use it, what sort of things they'd like to see happen there, and that sort of thing. Happy to do it, I have access to it.
That'd be good. Thank you. Great.
So with the group that's here, we're all kind of in agreement that maybe we should focus on the walking path first. I mean, it's probably the least expensive
And
thing to do,
And
and it gets a lot of use, right? So obviously, if people feel uncomfortable walking around the walking path, then
I think if you start there with the walking trail, you'll see an interest.
Because we've already-
more cars there.
we've already got yelled at a couple times about it not being exactly a mile around. I guess send you electronic thing today tells you exactly how far you've gone. It's a skosh under a mile, so
Yeah.
one lap is not 1 mile. They'd appreciate it if you change the sign.
I took one of them down.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't think to mention until now is that I know there have been some workout stations there for people to do chin-ups and pull-ups and things like that outdoors. And there was a period of time in the early 2000s when I noticed people were using them, and then I noticed people weren't. So I think it kind of goes in cycles like
Yep.
that. But one thing I've noticed about the membership and the open welcome of the people, the barn raisers for the gym membership, we have a lot of high school students now
Mhm.
who are using the gym and welcomed to use the gym. And maybe that's the demographic that would start to use some, maybe refurbished, I don't know the condition that those pieces are in now, or if they're even still there the way they used to be. But maybe that outdoor opportunity to extend their workouts would be a good thing. But somebody would want to look at that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And part of the reason too, they have to use it down there much, it didn't look like the grass got moved near it and around it.
Yeah,
So I think once we get that cleared up, we'll see more use down there.
yeah, I just think the more that can be done there incrementally
Right.
to honor the needs of the young people, because they're the volunteers who are coming along, and there are lots of parents in town, middle school and kids and in other grades, they're trying to teach their kids how to be volunteers.
Along with that, my youngest daughter runs there periodically, and she will use some of that, she would like to use, but her big thing, this sounds crazy, is she thinks it's too close to the road.
Oh, okay.
Everybody scares.
Yeah, she doesn't want people staring at her while she's working out. And on the flip side of that, we were there the other day, and there was a woman, I guess I don't know if she's vacationing or what, she had Connecticut plate, but she was at the playground using a piece of equipment over there for pull-ups. When there's a pull-up bar right next, so you might, it's just food for thought, you might want to relocate that stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe more central in the park itself, but I was looking at that stuff, it looks, decent shape, it's still usable, I mean.
Yeah. And maybe we'll relocate it down to another area so it's not as visible.
I I told her she was crazy, but.
He's a teenager. What can you say?
I run for pull-up bars, I don't even go anywhere near them.
The horseshoe pits, the pins that are coming up are set in concrete in the middle of those.
Yeah.
And most of them are all bent and out of whack, and even they go into the concrete, but they're bent. It's not, you can just fix it easily, but
Yeah, that's something that could.
I was thinking about, I said,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, I could just dig these out and replace with sand that I love. I'm like, oh, they're in there.
Yeah.
And they're all bent. So. But I was thinking like, there's something like that, and then you can check out horseshoes at the library or something.
Yeah, and speaking of library, somebody last year donated 14 pairs of brand-new snowshoes in their own cases to the Library of Things. So it wouldn't surprise me to start seeing people in winter, if it's known that generally there is access, to see people down there on snowshoes.
We have 20 here.
And if the beach were accessible, they could go right onto the lake when it's frozen.
Now, does anyone remember there being barbecue grills around the pavilion?
Yes.
Wasn't there 3 or 4 grills,
The other thing,
which I guess they're gone now? Did somebody,
the other thing that we get to be down there during baseball season, soccer season, whatever, is there was somebody, I don't know if it was volunteer or had someone in there, but there was actually an ice cream stand where you could go get a soda and in the building right between the two. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's actually.
I
remember that running when all those fields were being
And in the
used at the same
summertime,
time.
when kids were there, they were always, they used to go there all the time and grab the ice cream or whatever.
now 3/4 of it is, well, I'd say half of it is storage. Somebody went in and put a wall in the center of it, which we'd like to take out, you know,
So we probably have a snack shack.
not a storage facility.
And like I said, these are short-term and long-term goals.
Yeah.
As funding comes along, I mean, we're not gonna be able to go down there tomorrow and it's perfect.
Yes, we first must learn how to walk before we run, you know, it's-
That's why I think like, it was an agreement, the walk path is not.
I think that's what,
Project, not so insurmountable that you just stand in.
Now, do we know if this equipment is running?
What's that?
Is it running?
What?
The equipment?
Yeah, we fired up all the equipment, we're gonna change all the oil and filters in it, so we can start from scratch.
they actually had oil on them.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know.
Would it be worth getting the county involved? As far as support or,
So,
I don't know, maybe they're a bunch of idiots and we don't want anything to do with them and keep them away, or is it worth like maybe some financial backing or?
But we haven't gone the financial way, but I did look into the labor way, getting inmates from the county jail to come out and help. And they said that they could do that for us. I think they said we probably could get like 12 of them. The only thing we have to do is provide lunch for them. So that'd be a good.
Too bad they got rid of those grills.
I just found out tonight that they're not there anymore. It's like, well, there used to be grills around the pavilion, so if you wanted to have some sort of cookout there, you could, you know, if you brought your briquettes and maybe a brush to clean it, you could use it, but,
They didn't say hot lunch, they just said
Yeah.
lunch.
I'm shocked that they're not there anymore, they used to be, like,
So it's so frosty and it was just easier to remove it than it was to reset it.
yeah.
And they do run out too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So I couldn't agree. The field's been there for how many years? Since the 90s?
Yeah,
I would say
early.
96, 97-ish.
We're in here. First one's here.
If we were to cut some of them trees down, Blaine, do you think we could,
I could probably make it disappear.
could we safely, like, stack them like between one of the dugouts and the tennis court in that open area that's there?
To wipe out that whole area, sure.
That's where if we went to the other side later, but
Yeah.
it just makes sense to try to move those.
You're talking down between that Little League field and tennis courts, right?
Yeah, and,
Well, I would rate that all the way up, and not to bring up that time, but where Maggie ended up down there. Right in that area, right in that corner, just not away from the woods. As long as we can get a hold for a truck, our ATV.
well, we were looking at some of the fence, maybe we could pull out some of the plastic fence and we could drive,
Well, we got the ATV, so it doesn't leave much.
Yeah.
Right now.
but just food for thought, I just wasn't,
Well, what if we somehow just chipped all those trees and then we could use it playground area, or like wood chips is really helpful in a place like that, especially when you're just starting off again. So if we somehow was able to select someone with volunteer with a chipper, and we chip it and dump it,
Wouldn't that like bring bugs in though? Like ants and stuff?
Bees.
No.
bees, wasps,
No,
hornets.
I got a wood chipper that goes on the back of my tractor, and I was looking at those trees between the ball field and tennis courts. And it would probably chip most of that, maybe some of the stuff around the trunk would be on some of those trees.
Some of them, they probably look like I didn't look at every single one, but some of
For the most
I
part.
think some of the biggest ones would be,
Probably, for the most part, I can probably chip most
you
of
can
that.
you can still get your hand.
But the chips you get from it aren't like the chips you go to the store and buy. There's,
well, it's not
They-
mulch.
yeah.
It's not mulch, it's wood chips.
sometimes, if it's like you get like a long branch, some of the branch will stick together. It's not the greatest stuff. I don't know if your kids are gonna really, like, if you put it as a base and put nice stuff over, yeah, I could see using it, but just to put that stuff out of even chippers, like professional chippers, and you get some nice chips, but for the most part, you get a lot of junk with it too. And then the leaves don't chip up all together. And yeah, so it chips, but it's not.
Low area that's kind of outgrown to keep the grass down. And mulch,
Right,
like
it's still
mulch
gonna be
beds, like-
Yeah, oh yeah, you could put it down, you could put it like on a footpath or something in wet spots or something.
Right,
Yeah, or whatever, yeah, you can use it, but I just don't know that would be great for the playground for the kids.
In some ways, it's worth spending the money where the kids are gonna play, and get the high quality chips and say, let's get that, we'll suck that one up.
Yeah.
But like, you're right, I think over there in that wet hole, we need to fill it, you're right, hey, fill it.
Or we could put it on, what do we do?
And did you guys mow it before, like, and when you were over there, was,
Those ditches.
when I walked through, like, when I walk between the baseball fields down, going from the Little League field down to the softball field, and then in the gully, it would appear that is all flat and it used to be mowed, like, it appears that the drainage ditch is probably 16 inches to 2 feet wide, maybe.
They had a lot of PVC pipe for like drainage.
I mean, it would appear that was all once mowed entirely, I mean,
But you can also do that once a year kind of thing, just to maintain it rather than, I'm always trying to reduce the mowing.
I guess what I'm saying is now when you chop these trees down, we're looking at stump removal of some sort.
Yeah,
You know,
and they're gonna sprout right back up.
not with whapping. When they're little, I can get them with a weed whacker.
Turn it into a competition?
I'll volunteer my time.
But no, I was just curious if, because we're looking at pulling stumps if we're trying to,
Or grinding?
possibly, there'd be a lot of it, but,
I think
What
the
do you know?
best that
Don't
would be
like
if somebody had
CLT.
an excavator, just pop those things out and be done with it. I got a dump trailer, throw them in the trailer, we'll find some place to dump the stumps. Or burn them.
right in the middle of the field there. Duck them off, whatever's left.
You might be having a community call. Sounds like it.
We'll buy, the town will buy the marshmallows.
Yeah.
We can meet once again around the bonfire.
And also be worth checking into like CLT, they've got one of those big horse grinders.
Oh, those.
It'd be too big for them, and
What
it'd be more of a mess.
Yeah.
They're terrible on the ground. They got some small ones and six here.
Yeah.
That would be a lot more smaller and compact, that would work.
And we mulch some of our roads,
guys drive around, you see, you know, that they mow them down and stuff. I think if we did that down there, it's gonna just make an issue, because it's gonna be chips everywhere, so when you go and mow, it's just gonna be a mess.
But like what Blaine was talking about, it's almost like a rototill. Same idea as a rototill, but it's got a lot smaller teeth on it, and that's what it's made to do.
It rolls it right over.
Whatever, and then when you get done, it's fairly smooth. The only problem is CLT's got a great big freaking, there's, you know, take up a third of this room here anyway, it's big. Unless they got something small, but I don't know.
I just,
Yeah.
you can rent one for skid steer too.
Yeah.
Right up to Eagle equipment.
Would it mulch stumps low enough to?
Yeah, they'll look like lawn when you're done, a little bit of raking.
I mean,
They don't really come back.
No.
They don't come back.
I mean, it sounds like it would make a lot of sense if we cut the
The
trees.
only issue with taking stumps out, you got the holes.
You got the hole, but if you can,
Holes, the
if you
roots, so
can,
it takes, it's gonna take a lot of work.
I'm certainly not opposed,
That's the only downside, it's a good size stump in the middle of something you wanna get rid of, that's one thing.
yeah, but a bunch of little ones, like 100 little ones, you know. That seems like it would make a lot of sense, you get a lot of bang for your buck when you're ready to rent it, right?
Yeah.
And,
Or you can go around the backside of the cemetery too.
yeah, while we're at it.
If it does bang for the buck.
Might need a bigger one for over there though, right? Something. Yeah,
Something to think about anyway.
Did you guys wanna meet and chainsaw and chip sometime specific day in the next couple of weeks?
how does everyone feel like if you was to, like, hypothetically speaking, how soon should we cut trees down over there and stack them in the middle of the lawn? Because, or, you know, you're making it look worse, you know, as you're trying to make it look better, if that makes any sense. I mean, you're like, geez, these guys took the park over now, they got a big giant pile of brush right in the middle of the, you know.
Yeah. I think if you communicate though that you're doing it to make the park look better. I mean, you're not gonna cut these stumps or cut these trees and expect them to burn tomorrow. They gotta set and dry out for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, you know, first snow would be, if we had it done for first snow, that would be great. Then we really wouldn't have to chase anything.
Mhm. I mean, you think the community would be receptive to looking at a big giant brush pile and, you know, behind the tennis courts?
It's no worse than a swale hole. It's no worse than a swale hole.
That was only my concern, I mean,
They put a shortcut, and like I said,
Is it-
I mean,
it can't-
what we're doing and why.
It can't look much worse than what it has in the recent past, so
yeah.
if, we got Facebook. and-
I was shocked at how, like, how much that goes right down to a point down there, and it's, you don't even know you're in a park, you feel like you're in the woods, like, completely.
I think we just find a spot and just start piling it up and wait for first snow, and it'll be dried out by then. And then come next spring, we go.
Like, I volunteer best when I can just, I can slip out for a couple hours
Mhm.
and like go do it rather than like have a day, like I got a scheduled plan. So if we have like a plan, like we're cutting these trees, we're piling them here, this brush goes here, and I can just slip in there for an evening here and there, right? That would be best for me. And probably the best way to get stuff
To
done.
get people to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as we're aware that, you know, we're doing one section, so we don't have people bouncing everywhere.
I don't think it's easy, it's the piling it all up, so it's like, that's the work.
What you can do is start in the center, just in the center of where you want to cut. Cut that first, start piling, and then just keep cutting outward and just keep piling.
Yeah, we want, like, you know, just,
Is there anybody that would use fire, is it for firewood?
I'm not even sure what those trees are, has anybody been down there?
They're the best firewood that you ever want, it's just, they're great. Ashwood green or ashwood dry, keeps you warm as
Yeah, the trees that are growing up next to.
Yeah, they're all white ash.
Next
Yeah.
one.
They're all gonna die
White
from
ash.
dashboard soon anyway, but.
No, really, yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
And they're all packed in there, they're gonna be
Oh, yeah,
unhealthy
yeah.
and, sickly anyway, because there's.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if one was left every 20 feet, but I'm not gonna even.
I know,
I'm not
I've
gonna-
heard that comment.
Yeah,
No,
Really,
it's not everyone.
see, him and I
If
are
it was,
in opposite ends
I'm not
of
even
this.
gonna concede, right away.
I'm
I don't know if
I'm
you're right
a
or
fan
wrong.
of taking them all out, but I
And
keep
then
hearing
the
the
mulch
comment.
machine has to go around.
Yeah, take them all. Take them.
I knew that was a losing. That's right.
And I also think,
That was definitely not my intent.
I also think if you do take them out, then you can get back to the point of, you could be at the tennis courts and watching the kid play.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I remember. I mean, parents could go there with multiple kids and
Keep your eye on it.
check them out, I mean.
if you go to any of these big parks in especially outside of Maine, like where I'm from Pennsylvania, they just have like millions of kids in these huge parks. There's not a tree anywhere. You can see
Yeah.
everything. There's no seclusion. There's no,
Yeah.
They do that on purpose. Just like
Yeah.
good reason.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So is there someone we contact if we're gonna go cut, who would we reach out to?
Well, we have police forms?
Yep.
And just,
Is there a way you guys can kind of put on the census together, set up a couple of orange ribbons, we got some orange tape, we're gonna start here, let's do the second first, and, kind of move along that way, everybody knows they're on the same page.
Yeah, we could just have to be somewhat organized, so I can know who's there, I mean.
Especially, yeah, some
Be
people
on that.
go in for an hour or two. The only thing that I would,
When he was off, and it was great, hey, listen, I have 2 hours, I can come down here, I don't care.
Careful, fine print says,
I can
you
just
sign
go.
this here.
so
My
my
idea
only,
is, he knows what we're doing. That's what you're saying. And he does that, so he comes in there, I want to cut trees and all this. We got it, what happens?
That's what we're worried about a little bit, like.
so my only concern, my only other concern with that is people who build that walk in. Whatever else, and it's an active work zone, Is that gonna be a big issue, is getting somebody to walk out around you? I mean, a lot of people would be respectful and say, hey, that worked there, I'm not gonna go there, so let's walk out around, that's
I think
one
we
thing
could-
for me to get hurt, but I need somebody else.
I think if we, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think with like one day of a weekend, or I think you could take the majority of the big stuff and have it laying on the ground, and then you take some of the rest back, or if you skip, I'm sorry,
Okay, I'm just gonna pass this around.
if you skip over maybe some of the brush and stuff that you can do with a pruner or, but I think some of the bigger trees, probably I'll get them on the ground pretty short order.
We got a little bit of hand left, but after that, I'm happy to get out and try to set forward. A lot of brush, it's like a very hand.
I think,
Things like that.
We're a little concerned with the stuff that's growing around the buildings too. That's the first thing they're gonna complain about when they come over here. Their inspection.
Give us inspection? We don't know.
We haven't set one up yet because of that.
After the first snow.
You cut those trees down like wall to the tennis court, and they come and say, yeah, we know this tree has to start the tree process, but we just haven't gotten that far yet. So at least they're aware of it. It's in the works.
It's a little bit of a bugger behind the maintenance building, because it drops off pretty quick behind there.
You talk to Brian, and somebody like, yeah, look at it, get it.
Process is you to contact the dentist or email, like.
If that's something you're interested in, keep me in the loop.
So,
do you? I'd be happy to.
what do
Be a lot
what
with
does everyone think should be done with the walking path? What's the best way to re-widen that?
I say, I would try that first.
That'd be your, just my front drag around.
If they do. Yep.
Still. There's too little be this.
Okay.
I was talking to somebody the other day, they said they had a small road tiller, tractor, a 4-foot one. And they said that they'd be willing to bring it down, then we could run the drag.
Then you can, yeah.
The only issue.
What about a Harley race? I mean, it's trying to get somebody to come in with equipment, but it's all, like a small, skid steer is only 4 or 5 foot wide.
Right.
I'm not sure, like I said, I'm just curious, I don't know what would be the best course of action, or, because it's minimal, right?
Well, the only issue is losing what happened to Ace, you're still gonna stop, mix it in.
Right.
Then it's gonna be.
Then it's gonna be
Unless you plan on surface.
Refilling that.
That would be the only issue, that would be the best way to get it lined out and roll to a highly rate, something like it, because that would bring that soft. And get it out of there, but. It's gonna be muddy on the other side of it.
Right.
So just leave it for now?
I would say just concentrate on the trees, get it so these
Get it
people
pruned
say,
back.
anything that, if there's roots in the way, cut them down, whatever you gotta do, at least make it, get the tree limbs back, anything that's dead, broken,
Get it out.
I haven't been around there this year, so I don't know what else. I know last year there was some stuff, backside into the pond,
I'm sure they need more, right?
pretty good sized stuff down there, so.
Or you can use some down there. So that would-
Mike's built me out like 100 times.
2 or 3. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the day you come get me, but hasn't happened
Is there baseball being played down there in this fall?
So the soccer league is going to be using the section for the youth soccer. We've been in communication with Little League a little bit to bring the team back, and then American Legion also wants to bring their team back. And we're in the talks of working with them. They may be able to do some of the maintenance on the ball fields, but we still haven't had those conversations yet.
Just like my son played minors down
Yep.
there and I helped coach.
Yep.
And before they started, the college maintenance guys came down with big rakes because they were gonna tackle the infield.
Mm-hmm.
And that lasted for like 10 minutes maybe. And then they went up and they got their tractor with their tiller on it and they tilled the whole infield and then just left. And it was all bumpy and everything. Yeah, you couldn't play, the kids were gonna hurt themselves. So I went down there, and I was mowing the infield and then I got a drag and I dragged that whole infield and got rid of all that. And it came up, way better, but it lasted like not even that whole season and now it's all grass again. So that's gonna take some.
Yeah, I know they had games down there, 2 weeks ago, I think it was?
I have no idea.
That was a random.
Yeah.
The other thing we used to do with ball fields is, we would rent the turf cutter. I actually had my own. And then so you could, do the edges, it does a really nice job with all the edges. I mean, there'd be a lot to do the path that way, but, because you cut it and then you cut it.
You gotta pull it out, right?
But that was the first thing we did every year with the ball fields. And then, the harder thing was the ball field next gets up onto the turf. So it ends up having a lip right there. So we cut that, scrape out the stuff down, put the turf back down. So that was it was a big renovation kind of thing, but, a group of people, somebody knows what they're doing. You can spend an afternoon and really, make it nice. But you usually have to bring in more ball field things.
Yes.
That's one of the, which is not that expensive.
But it sounds like you need money.
Yeah. These things all.
We're getting there, if things in the works. So, try.
Many hands help lighten the load.
Yep.
Another question, did you dig into that big pile of what was in there?
Not yet.
Do you remember what that file was, Doug? How long?
Well, where are we talking?
No, to the left.
Behind the bridge.
Oh, right.
We're trying to figure out what's in there.
Yeah, geez, you remember anymore. I think now you're old.
I thought at one time that some of that was dirt for the infields, but I can't swear to that.
I mean, originally, in the sheds along by the railroad tracks, that's where they were storing ball field mix.
Right.
But then the big pile, I thought that was
Thank you.
from
Our kid's doing good.
some clearing project where they're gonna try to do something with that big flat area. And I don't know, I don't remember anymore.
I don't either, honestly, I don't.
Yeah. Long term, we could take the bridge to nowhere and we could put it
Yeah.
somewhere that makes sense.
Because when I was there, John Sullivan was still in
Yeah.
charge, and Harold Plumley was working for him.
Yeah, right out of Harold, yeah.
Harold.
Yeah, he used to yell at everybody.
He did.
Kept on line. The place was just.
I took it a few times.
Yeah.
He used to, religiously mow the field.
Yeah,
Take care of
Take care of
it,
Every day, right.
And he came along and his wife worked as a volunteer.
Because he said it was too much work, he said that one man cannot do this, so he says, we're on a budget, so he used to make his wife come down and help him.
Yeah. I tried to tell him like, so originally the turf was really beautiful. And if you cut it too low, that's when all the weeds come in. So it's like cut it at, 2 1/4 inches, not at 3/4 of an inch. Because when you do that, then you get planting, you get all the dandelions and everything. And it's like, I didn't get through. But he was very vigilant about keeping the place really nice.
You have
he
to
really
admit, it looked pretty good when he was taking care of it.
Yeah.
The Little League field, I don't know, used to have a warning track around the house, around the perimeter, which was pretty neat.
Just get down to the hands and knees, and pick everything off.
He would.
Yeah.
I seen him do that with carpet. He'd go like this, and scissors after he laid carpet, he would cut the hairs off, they were a little bit too long. He would do the same thing on that ball field.
You love her.
Yeah. He made a point one night to stop on his way home after one of the baseball games. And I told the story, but I don't mean to be redundant, but he stopped one night and we were all gathered around the snack shack. And I happened to be standing on a baseball. And he got out of his truck and he come over and I was talking and he's rubbing me on the shoulder like this and he's like, Dave, he says, you do realize, he says, we're trying to get the lawn to grow back. He says, and it's not gonna grow back if you keep standing on the baseball. He goes, if you kindly stay just a couple steps back, he says, because it will never grow, he says, but you standing on it. But just as polite as you could be, like. I don't mean to interrupt you, sir, but.
What do you guys need from the community next?
I think the tree removal and brush removal is what we should be focusing our attention on.
And lots of.
I didn't realize that a lot of
Positive
people
chatter.
felt uncomfortable walking around it, because it's nothing I'm not a big walker.
Where to feel comfortable.
Yeah. It did look kind of odd to me when I went down through there the other day and saw how much that thing goes to a point down in that corner. I'm like, this don't even look like a park. It looks like you're out in the woods somewhere. I said, do people like this, or do they not like it? Or like, are they gonna be mad if we cut these trees? Because I've been all along wanting to cut the trees down out of there.
I'm sure someone's not gonna please everyone.
No, I mean, I didn't know if people like the seclusion. Does it make you feel like you're not in town anymore? Or, I had all these things running through my mind.
You're gonna make people angry if you don't take care of them, you're gonna make people angry if you do take care of them, but it's a liability issue, it's a security issue, so I think that supersedes what anybody thinks.
I'm in to keep my wife happy and she wants the trees out of there, so.
Yeah, and I'm all for it. Jews get sick of me saying, well, the tree.
Let's just do it, right? Don't talk, no action.
Yeah, I've been on the trees for a bit, yeah. I'd like to see them gone personally, all of them.
But I
Except the ones
defended
around
your
the playground.
trees, I defended those.
The ones around the playground, I think look really nice.
Yes.
I'll raise the ground on the other ones.
And if you can't see your kid, tell pluck.
The ones around
Don't
the
stand on the bare
the
spot.
ones around the walking path though, I thought.
Yep, no.
I think we should focus on the end with the ball fields first, and then go to the other end afterwards. Because that point up there is all grown in too.
It would really open things up.
Yeah.
That would change the look.
Yeah. If you go back, we've gone back, I don't know if anyone has any old photos, but if you go on like Google Maps, you can, I think it will take you all the way back to like 2007 at least. And you, from the road, you can, as you go up year by year, you can see these trees getting a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bit. You can see what it used to look like, you know, which is kind of neat.
You need to get help about this fixation.
Yeah.
We were on the computer in the office.
Because I told him, I said, I'm pretty sure that there was no trees anywhere.
Well,
Like they
when
might have been-
Bert approached me and said, when it was built, it was like, Doug, I want to take the students down there and I want you to cut all those trees along the shoreline. I want to be able to drive by, I want to see all the way to the water. Bert, there's regulations against that shoreline. And his response was, don't worry about it, I'll take care of that. He would happily pay the fine if I had done it, like, you know, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, Chris said that, he's heard that too. Beg for forgiveness like that.
That's right. See, I was wondering, you know, that pilot we're talking about, the dirt, because I know that he had to build up, because it was a wetland area, so you know, Bert,
Yeah.
this is what I want. Yeah, I do. I'll pay the fine, because I want to have my walk path, and I want to go right through here.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
My favorite one was, we took $75,000 out of the endowment to put an underground irrigation system in the water. Once they turned brown, it was used for 1 year, it was never used after that. Because those are a pain in the neck to maintain. So the pump house is down there, there's still underground irrigation pipe throughout all those fields and everything, that's used for 1 year.
Right, yeah, we were looking at the,
Yeah.
the pump house. Yep. Yep. Well, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yep, some great ideas, and bear with us, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, we'll try to get it done.
Next time, we have a share.
So used to filling out these forms that I put down